What up? What up? What up, everybody? Um, Sorry, I keep bumping the table. I hope that's not making the audio bad. Um, what up, Albie? What up, Jay? What up, Leon? How's it going, folks? Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? I haven't got my wires too crossed. What's cracking? How's your day? How's everyone doing? Just checking the stream, making sure everything looks okay, everything sounds okay. I switched up the camera angle a little bit to try to give you guys like a better view of the workspace, rather than like a bunch of my ceiling and stuff. So yeah, hope that's okay. Hope it looks okay. Hope everything sounds okay. If anything's off, just let me know, and I'll do my best to try to figure it out. And am I good? I'm pretty good. How are you, Albie? If you see, I look a little down and out. I was just like always, just kind of scrambling to try to get this stuff together. I had to like change a little while before the show, so I feel like my clothes are kind of disheveled and stuff. But I'm dressed, so there's that. My booty's showing. Let me know. Um, and yeah, we're cooking. We're gonna be doing some chicken tikka masala, some rice. I got some naan. I already did some roasted potatoes. I was a little bit worried about time, so I like got started a little early before we got going on the live. Um, Albie, hate to break it to you, but I don't use Instagram. I have an Instagram. I never like deleted my account, but I haven't logged on to it in a couple years. So you're not going to be able to find me on the Insta, unfortunately. You can find my content with Live to Roll online if you want to follow Live to Roll, but I don't do social media. That's not my bag. I read that, Leon. I'm jealous. Um, that sounds dope. I love Dairy Queen. And yeah, we're just getting started. I'm gonna start by making a cup of coffee. I don't have any vegetables today or fruit. I did some roasted potatoes, and we're gonna chop up an avocado just because I'm crazy about avocado. But I don't have any fruit today. That's like the fruit of the day. Why is that? I just forgot to buy any when I was at the store, and it was really rainy and just yeah. There's no specific reason. Um, and yeah, we're getting started. Gonna do a little cup of coffee. I just haven't done that yet, and I make coffee all the time. It's one of my favorite things to do. Um, so isn't that your account that I followed? If it's got my picture, it's me. Um, but like I said, I don't use it anymore. So if there's posts on it that are recent, then those aren't me. Yeah, coffee is one of my favorite things, Leon. I love start my day with a cup of coffee. Sometimes I like a little afternoon cup. It's something that I try to be mindful about how much I consume because caffeine and anything in excess isn't good for you. I know some coffee nuts out there though that they drink coffee all day long, and I'm here for it. There's certainly like decaf options too, which you can I think drink more of and be okay. But it's a diuretic, so it can dehydrate you, and maybe isn't always the best thing for your bladder. So I try to be mindful about that. I did have a cup of coffee this morning, so I'm having it right now. As you can see off to the side right here, you can kind of see it. You can point at it a little bit, use some movie magic. I use a Keurig machine. It's not fancy coffee. It's not, like French press, which I've done that before. I got a French press. You can kind of see it on my shelf right over this shoulder. Nope, over that shoulder right there. I got a French press that I use sometimes. That's about as decadent as I get, but I don't have like a fancy coffee maker. I don't grind my beans fresh. My dad does. I like having coffee when I visit my parents' house, but I keep it simple. Keurig, I think, is an awesome invention. You can see a fresh hot cup. I use it for hot water for tea all the time. I don't have to worry about like boiling water or pouring a kettle. It's just like all right into the cup. So enough advertising for Keurig or these Instacup coffee makers. But that's what I use, and I think it's a super great tool for anybody in a wheelchair that likes to drink tea or likes coffee or likes to eat cup of noodles, because it's great for filling up your cup of noodles too. It's pretty simple. I kind of set it up beforehand. Usually I have to like load a fresh cup. I did it beforehand because, damn it. I tried to prepare, but of course the reservoir doesn't have water in it. Man, that was so anticlimactic. Alright, just hang with me for a second while I fill this up with water, you guys. Okay. So it's just got like this big tank of water that sits on the side. It's removable, which is super cool because it makes it easier for me to fill up. And it's got a handle on it, and the handle's like pretty functional for me to just slide my hand in there. But just bear with me for a second. I didn't realize I had to do this, but hey, it's live, so. Okay, so I'm not going to fill it up all the way. That reason being, it's just too heavy. When I have somebody here to help me, I'll have them refill it and like top it off for me. When I do it myself, I usually fill it a little bit more than this. I just want to do 1 cup today just to show you guys, and I'll fill the rest of it tomorrow. It can be a little unwieldy if it's really full of water and I can spill and stuff. I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm gonna start my coffee now that I got water in it. Once you hit the button, it just does it. It's just gonna brew the coffee through the grinds in the little K-cup, and bing bang boom, we're good to go. We'll let that brew for a second. Albie, how long did you make YouTube? What's your motivation behind it? Oh, that's the other thing. I adjusted the camera, and when I elevate it, chops off my head. So I have to remember that. So I don't. You guys aren't talking to just like a mouth. I'll try to be good about that. Okay, how long have I done YouTube? Just the last couple of years, I guess, like since 2020, 2021, right at the beginning of COVID. The Literal YouTube channel was started, gosh, I think like 10 years ago now, at least, by Sean, where he was just doing like individual content about like living independently, living life with disability, how he manages his day-to-day tasks. And yeah, we had the idea to start doing like a show like a podcast like everybody does, right? Oh, hey, let's start a podcast about living with disability. It was me, Bobby, and Sean who had had a conversation about it before, and we were like, hey, let's start it, let's do it. And that's what it's turned into in the last couple of years. Now it's, gosh, what is it at, like 14.1 thousand subscribers. We have a really awesome community that we know in person and online, and yeah, it's very cool. I never really had any want or aspiration to be, and I still don't, to be like an influencer or like a YouTuber or anything like that. It makes me feel really awesome to try to disseminate good information to my community, to help inspire other individuals with disabilities to want to live independently, to try to, do as much as they can and be as successful and happy in life as possible. That just tickles my heart and my soul and makes me feel good. And that's kind of what drives me to want to do this. It's not maybe a little bit for the clout. Maybe a little part of me wants the attention and the clout. But the motivating force is to just try to, share good, positive information online to other people with disabilities. Appreciate that, Jay. Means a lot. Okay, I'm gonna grab my cup of coffee. This is a pretty big cup. I think it holds like 12, 14 ounces. I didn't fill it up all the way. I only did a 10-ounce cup of coffee just because I don't want it to be like at the very, very tippy top. The reason I can move this cup too, like semi-safely, is because it's a thermally insulated cup. It is protected from, it's got like an insulated layer so it doesn't get super, super hot on the outside like a regular ceramic mug, which is why it's my favorite mug, because I can grab it and move it while it's hot. And I still have to be careful because you can always spill hot liquid, but it is a lot easier to grab and handle while the coffee is like still nice and hot and fresh. So I'm gonna grab my cup and bring it over to the table, put some sugar in it, and we'll go from there. Yeah, still a big gamer. I want to bring the literal gaming back and do it. I just don't want that to be the sole content. I really love stuff like this. Gaming is great. Like adaptive gaming, I think is an awesome hobby and something fun and something everybody should do. But I think this kind of information is a little bit more meaningful for the literal channel on a regular basis. And the gaming, I want to do more of on Live to Roll too, but maybe once every couple weeks or a different day or something. Just still trying to figure it out. But yeah, I still love to game. And thanks, Derek. I appreciate it. I am feeling better. Okay. I'm grabbing my cup of coffee. Two hands. I call it the two-hand rule. Anytime I have someone hand me something, like a friend or somebody, I'm like, okay, let me get two hands on it. I need the two-hand rule. Okay. Yeah, Albie, I can add you on Fortnite. I'll type it into the chat. My username is tfizzle92. I think that's like my Xbox and my Epic Games. So if you send me a request and let me know your username, I can for sure add you. Okay, I got a couple sugar packets here. I'm not a cream person. You can see the steamy coffee. Ooh, it smells so good. It does. It really does smell awesome. I have like a sugar dish, like a container of sugar that I can spoon out of. It's not my favorite way. I've been buying sugar packets for a while to like do like the sugar for my coffee, just so I don't have to like waste a utensil. I mean, I have to like mix it up and stir it with something. Uh, but I hate like getting coffee like into the sugar. Like it makes these like little like sugar balls like inside your granulated sugar container, and it just bugs the crap out of me. So I like sugar packets. You can make an argument that maybe they're not the simplest or most accessible thing, but maybe if you have worked on your fine motor skills and practice and got used to it, you can. Versus like just spooning some sugar into your coffee from a container. But I just found that I like the sugar packets. It's really easy for me to use and do. So I get to keep it simple with no creamer, but I love me some sugar in my coffee. Cut down on the bitterness a little bit. And yes, I do 2 packs because I'm just extra sweet, I guess. And I'm not doing this like multiple cups a day. It is kind of a lot of sugar. Um, but it's okay. It ain't no problem. Hi, Roy. How are you? Hey, yeah, we can definitely get down on some Fortnite matches. I'll be. Okay, we got our coffee. It's still a little bit too hot, and I gotta stir it up. What am I gonna use for my stir? Let me grab a utensil. Stir it up. Gonna stir it up. You're quite brave. Uh, yeah, I know, Derek. Um, I don't know if it's bravery or stupidity. It's one or the other. Maybe a little combination of both. Like I said, I take certain necessary steps to try to avoid it the best I can. I am like pretty confident in like carrying mugs with both hands and doing certain things like that. Um, I have burned myself before. I've spilled coffee on myself before. Nothing like ever really major. Knock on wood. And I know that that's like always a potential risk of it happening, but I like my coffee too much. Oftentimes, what I'll do, I moved it over here today to the table to show you guys like the mechanics of me putting the sugar in. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the chat so that I could see it a little bit better. It was kind of cut off, and I was trying to infer what everybody was saying, but I just want to move it so that I can see everything, and I don't have to do that. Okay, usually I'll let it. I'll like while it's at the counter, I'll add the sugar. I'll let it cool. I'll just like pick it up and set it down right there off of the counter. I won't be like driving around or moving with it. The most I'll do is I'll bring it over to my desk sometimes. But even then, I'll usually let it sit for 4 or 5 minutes and cool down enough that like if I do spill it on myself, it's not gonna like scald me or anything. Um, so I am mindful about it, and it's really good to reiterate like how dangerous hot liquid can be and how important it is to be super careful, or if this is one of those things where you just need to get help with, that's okay. You know, not everything needs to be done independently, especially if you have access to the help to, you know, have someone just do it for you to avoid the risk in the first place. I promise, I do try to mitigate the risk as much as possible, but I am always kind of risking the biscuit a little bit that, you know, in the right circumstances, something could happen. But something can always happen, right? To anybody, to able-bodied person or anybody. It is really important. I know I just said it like 5 times in a row. If you are dealing with hot liquid, tea, coffee, soup, anything like that, be very careful. I'm going to move my keyboard. I was having some technical difficulties right at the beginning where my keyboard is like not working. Like the battery died or something. And I have the ability to control my computer with an app on my phone. So I'm like, oh, let me just do that. But because I was like, I need to get started. But let me turn it off and turn it on again. Okay. Turning it off and on again worked. But I'm going to get this keyboard out of the way so that I don't get it messy while we're doing the cooking that we got to do. Alrighty. I have some pretty major burn scars on my hand. It serves as a reminder for potential burns. Yes. I got some burn scars on my hands too. From all kinds of different stuff. From my oven, from hot drinks, from hot foods, from you name it. I got some gnarly burns, especially on like the backs of my hands, like my pinkies and stuff, because I don't have any sensation there. So it can be a little bit harder for me to remember, like, oh, I need to be really careful with that side of my hand, or else I could really burn the crap out of myself. But I've lived and I've learned. That happened a lot when I was younger. I remember like the stupidest burn that I got one time is there was like a teapot kettling and like steam was shooting out, and I was like, ooh, let me like just wave my hand through the steam, and the steam like burned the shit out of my hand. Oh, it was so stupid. So young, so dumb, but that's how we learn, right? Okay, so we did our cup of coffee. Let me take a sip of it. It might be a little too hot still, but I need some coffee. Ooh, that's so good. Okay. We're chopping up an avocado. We've done this before. You're like, Tom, you're crazy for avocados. You might as well be one. If I could be, I might be. But I'm human, so I can't. And thus, I can only enjoy them by eating them. So let's get started with that. The rest of the food prep is kind of pretty simple. I did have to use my toaster oven to do my roasted potatoes, which I'll bring over in a few moments. But we're just keeping it simple today, folks. I didn't have it in me to do too much more. I have some ideas. We're going to bake some cookies. I wanted to make some cookies from scratch today. But I wasn't ready to do that. I'm going to try to do that next week. I'm also working on getting like this little hot plate combo that we can have here and like do some actual cooking like on a skillet and like in a pot and show like some really meaningful cooking skills rather than doing a lot of like prepared food. But we're not there quite yet. We're building up to it. I'm building up to it and working on like the production side of it. This like semi-prepared food is honestly stuff that I eat all the freaking time just because it's so easy. I can't deal with like the mess of cooking with pots and pans and skillets and stuff every day, all the time. And it's just not realistic. So I promise this is like really a lot of what I eat and what I prepare like on a weekly basis. But we are going to be getting into some like getting a little skillet action and, you know, like doing some of this stuff a little bit more realistically and a little bit better. This is awesome. Thanks for sharing with us. Thanks, Monica. I appreciate it. How are you? I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. And if I have, I apologize for not remembering. Why not do just chatting? That's what we do on Tuesday. That's what all the other shows are. They're just chatting. It's just us having conversation. While I wouldn't mind that, like if it were just me chatting with you guys, why not amplify the content? We chat all the time. I want to, like I said, one of my wants and desires with doing this YouTube thing is try to disseminate good information to other individuals with disabilities, to try to inspire other people to tackle the difficult reality of independent living at some point, if that's something that they feel inclined to do or motivated to do. I want to talk about and share my experience with it and try to help pave a smoother road ahead for those coming up behind from everything that I've learned. So that's why not just chatting. Just because I want to make the content more dynamic. I want to do more. I want to share more. There's so much more that we can do than just talk. Like, play with knives. Everyone loves seeing T Fizzle play with hot liquids and knives. Alright. So I got my avocado right here. It seems kind of ripe. I hope it's good. Let me make sure that, yeah, my shirt's kind of coming up. I'm going to have to fix that in a minute so my belly doesn't start popping out, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's focus on the task at hand. I am using a knife. Alright, let me turn towards you guys so you can kind of see how I'm doing this. I've done it in the last few weeks because I love avocados and I eat a lot of them, but still I'm going to just talk through the process. I have it like held in my hand right here and also resting against my abdomen. I'm just also like gripping the knife with the back of my hand and kind of like bracing it against my chin. And I'm using all of those pieces to just push into the avocado. Avocados are super soft, super ripe. When they're ripe, the rind isn't difficult to cut through. And I just spin the avocado. I don't even move the knife. I just spin the avocado. So I'm not like sawing with the knife blade or anything. I'm not like potentially stabbing myself. But I'm getting the job done. Okay, we're done with, well, we're not done with the knife, but we cut the avocado. Let me just set this off to the side. Shout out Papa Conaway in the chat. Mom and Dad, love you guys so much. The reason I love cooking so much and the reason I am arguably okay at it is because my parents love to cook. And we spent many a day and night in the kitchen at home, cooking with the fam. I have a brother and sister, and we would all have our task. My mom would set me up on my tray with a bunch of potatoes, and I'd sit there and try to peel them the best I could, and I'd get one or two done while everyone else would do like 10 or 12. But that's fine. I still got to participate and, you know, chopping different things. Like, we were all kind of the sous chef for our mom and dad. And it was awesome and some of the most cherished memories of my life. So this avocado, I don't know. I think it was too ripe. It is kind of dark. I don't like dark, discolored avocado. Ugh. So I'm gonna save it off to the side. I'll probably chop it up afterwards and try to salvage it. Let me cut this other avocado. It also might just be a waste. Like, that's the realities of avocados sometimes. If they're dark and they're too ripe and they spoil it a little bit, I'm not gonna risk it because I like my tummy feeling good and not feeling bad. Okay, I'm just gonna do the same thing that I just did. I have my avocado held in my hand right here, resting right up against my abdomen. I'm going to grip the knife, kind of like backhand style, like I'm Jason, you know, about to go on a killing spree. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to murder some avocados. I'm going to use my cheek to help my grip. And I'm not going to move the knife. I'm just going to twist the avocado. Okay. Piece of cake. Is this one better? Yeah, this one's a lot better. Okay. So let me prepare this one half. This is probably like the most satisfying Thomas play. I don't know about all that, but I'm keeping it fresh, just how you taught me. Thanks for hanging around, you guys, and supporting the channel. I love slicing avocado. It's just so easy. It's like slicing butter. Like the knife just falls right through. And I don't know, it's just very satisfying. For whatever reason, I'm going to keep it kind of chunky today. Sometimes I'll like dice it long ways and then sideways, but I kind of just want a bunch of avocado slices today, so I'm just gonna slice it long ways. We're gonna set the knife off to the side. We're gonna set our avocado off to the side. I should have grabbed a spoon earlier because I'm gonna need a spoon to get my avocado out of there, but that's all right. We're gonna grab that momentarily. Let me get a sip of my coffee. Oh yeah. Oh, I love coffee so much, you guys. Every time I set something on the table, I see the audio spike, and I'm like afraid that it's deafening your ears. So if there is loud audio translating through the mic, I do apologize. Okay, let's get our let's get the rest of this going. What we got next is some ready rice. This is Ben's Original. It's a dope brand I've used before. It's got another microwavable rice, kind of like we did last week. I read the instructions this time, so I'm not going to blow anybody's eardrums out by not unsealing it before I put it in the microwave and making a little rice bomb. So I need a pair of scissors in order to do that. Okay. It said first to break up the rice inside. It'll kind of pack together. So let me make sure to do that. I'm just squeezing it. Alright. Once it feels like it's all broken up, I said to cut a 2-inch 2 inches into the top of the packaging to create ventilation. So that's what we're going to do. Alright. Another thing to be careful with is scissors. You don't want to stab yourself or poke yourself. You can poke yourself and stab yourself with scissors. I've done it before. Not as risky as a knife, which I think why it's a great option to cut something with a pair of scissors. You'd be surprised how useful a good pair of cooking scissors can be in light of a knife, which might make it a little bit more accessible and also a little bit safer, but you can still stab yourself with scissors, so be careful. Alright, I'm going to put this in my microwave, so I'm just going to mosey on back here. I have a bunch of stuff in front of my microwave, so bear with me for a second. I did some roasted potatoes before you guys got here. Why did you do that, T-Fizzle? Because it's already 4:10. We've already been talking and cooking for 40 minutes. And I wasn't sure if I'd have time to do everything that I needed to in a reasonable amount of time for you guys. I don't want you have to like sit here for hours and hours while I do all this stuff. I want to try to keep it tight. Keep the engagement up. Okay. So I got my rice opened. I'm going to try to stand it up in my microwave. I might have to come back for my grabber to be able to do that, but let me see if I can just do it. elevate my chair. That's a really huge advantage to anybody that has a power chair. To be able to elevate, it just makes all the difference in the world. At least for me, cooking is still possible. If you are in a manual chair, especially if you have like really good dexterity and use of your hands, but a lot of surfaces like counter spaces are not designed for the height of a wheelchair user, especially someone in a manual chair. If I was in my manual chair right now next to this, like my chin would be at the counter, and that wouldn't be very useful or accessible for cooking. So without my power chair, I would not be as independent or as functional as I am able to do all this stuff. It's just a reality. Alright, that's got 90 seconds on it. Wow. That is doing its thing. Let me de-elevate. Little itchy nose. Sorry about that. I'm going to take another sip of my coffee. It's raining here in LA. That is kind of why I chose the food that I did today. Kind of why I'm having coffee in the afternoon. It's because it's just like a rainy, gloomy day. I know a lot of people are out there hustling and bustling, but if you're hanging at home, it's kind of just like a little downcast. So I'm doing some hearty food with some potatoes and some tikka masala. We got some naan in the fridge, and ooh, a nice, yummy, warm cup of coffee to warm the insides up. All right. Our rice should be good. Let me open this chicken tikka masala. Ooh, nice. You guys are getting our California weather all the way out in WV. Is that West Virginia? Now that probably looked a little funny. It's like, why was I holding it with my hand? It's just so that I could keep one hand on the packaging and kind of hold it solid while I like opened the scissors and was able to like stab and tear through this plastic. I never really often considered what all of this looked like from like a third party perspective. Like I cooked with my family before, like my sister and stuff all the time, and like other people. But I didn't really often like consider what maybe it looks like through their eyes when I do all this stuff that I do. And I've been watching back some of the past cooking shows that I've done in the last couple of weeks to just try to improve upon the show and to see what it looks like through your guys' eyes. And sometimes I'm like, dang, T-Fizzle, that looks so silly the way you're doing that. But hey, it's not a beauty contest. Although I think I do pretty good in that too. And the majority of the time you're cooking or preparing food, like there's nobody there with the camera on you watching you. Anything you have to worry about, it is just sometimes funny. I'm like, oh, I bet that looked a little silly. All right. We got the saran wrap off of this. This brand, I love, 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 love. It's a Indian food brand called Sukhis. Sukhis. I'm probably pronouncing that ridiculously wrong. But no antibiotics, ever. No added hormones. No added preservatives. It's like really fresh, good stuff that's kind of like ready-made. And it's just, it all tastes freaking amazing. It's healthy for you. I like that it's like antibiotic free and it's like not hormones and stuff like you would normally get in kind of like a semi-prepared dish. No added preservatives. I mean, where else can you find that? I don't know. but I haven't found it in too many places. So, shout out to that awesome brand, and I really, really recommend it if you come across it. Didn't mean to run into the table right there. I just needed to grab some paper towels. One for right now. We'll save a couple on the table for later. You're playing a game and watching me at the same time. Heck yeah, Gracie. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is to multitask. Sometimes when I'm gaming, if I don't care about the dialogue or like the music in the game, I'll put on a YouTube show too. A lot of times when I'm cooking, obviously I'm doing it live and talking to you guys, but a lot of times when I'm cooking, I like to have like a YouTube podcast like going on my phone or on the TV in my apartment. So heck yeah. What are you guys doing for dinner? Leon told us that he was doing Dairy Queen, which is dope. I love me some DQ the few times that I've had it. I think Dairy Queen's owned by Warren Buffett too. Fun fact. Okay. The reason I grabbed my grabber is because this rice is going to be super, super, super hot. I don't want to burn myself. So I'm going to grab it with the grabber to keep myself safe. The Alright. It's out of the microwave. Let me just bring it over to the table with the grabber, that way. It would be hard for me to grab that bag in any safe way. There are these little edges that they say, like, it's cool to the touch on the side. But of course, the little edges are like, I don't know, less than a quarter of an inch in width. Like, I couldn't grab that even if I had functional fingers and still not manage to burn myself. So, that's why I used the grabber. It was just like a little 1 or 2 serving bag, so it wasn't very heavy. And it was pretty easy to bring over. So, we're going to let that cool while we prepare our chicken tikka masala. You had baked chicken breast salad and yogurt. Dang, that sounds good, Derek. Irresistible Indian cuisine. Let's go. All right. You can do this on the stovetop. You can do it in a microwave. We're doing it in a microwave just to keep it easy. When I get my little portable stovetop set up, we'll run this back and do it stovetop sometime. But I read this before. Let me just make sure. Remove paper sleeve, then empty bags into the tray. Microwave the tray, pull it out, stir it up, microwave it again. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy. Let me get this garbage out of here so I'm not cluttering my cooking space too much. Bear with me for a second. Okay. Just gonna throw this stuff away right here. And Almi mentioned earlier, why isn't this just like a just chatting show? Like the other Live to Roll shows. And it kind of is meant to be. If you guys do have any topics or things that you want to talk about that aren't related to cooking, this is a space where we can have kind of a more chill, relaxed conversation about anything specific that I might be knowledgeable about. So this show is that too. We're just doing the cooking in combination with it. And I know I'm like doing a lot of talking about the cooking, and it's important. I'm not going to stop doing that, but I am trying to just keep providing good commentary and information so there's not like silent dead air for too long. But like I said, if there is any other topics that you guys do want to talk about that we've talked about on the show before that we haven't talked about on the show, please feel free to ask. That's all good here. Just gonna scoop my coffee over a little bit. Grab this paper towel. Here's our little microwave tray that we're gonna put our chicken into. I was just trying to. This is very saucy. Just trying to create a little space so that I could cut it without any of the contents spilling out onto me and not into the container like I want them to. Now, I'm just doing the same thing that I did a moment ago, where I held the package that I was cutting, and then I used my mouth and my other hand to work the scissors. I wish I had, like, my jaw is kind of like an extra hand for me. I use it for a lot of stuff. I talked about it a lot on the show before. And I'm going to continue to because it's like the most useful part of your body imaginable if you aren't too like germophobic. Some people will be like, oh, I'm not putting a pair of scissors in my mouth to save my life, but I don't mind. Okay. That's open. We're just going to empty the contents into the tray. This is yummy tikka masala, which is like a tomato-based curry sauce. And it is awesome. I love me Indian food. I love tikka masala. It's like one of my favorite things. Alright. Now let me get this packaging out of here without dripping a bunch of sauce on my floor. Oh, too late. Gonna have to clean that up. I think we managed with only one drop on the floor, and I'll toss a little paper towel down on there and clean that up after the show. Alright, party people. Let me go put this in the microwave real quick. You can see, ooh, yummy. We're in the microwave for 2 minutes. If you're wondering why it looks like I'm elbowing my microwave, it's because I am. I'm using like the pointy part of my elbow to push the buttons instead of my fingers. The buttons on the microwave are like very flat. Like they're not like really like set out. And it's really hard for me to push with my finger. But I found that I can just like kind of poke it with the pointy part of my elbow. And it works really great and efficiently. So if it looked a little odd, that's why. I'm just using my elbow to operate the microwave. And yeah, you just use what you got. It's really the name of the game, people. And thanks, Derek. Okay. Let's start to plate up some of this food. Move my coffee out of the way. Let me clear off the cooking space a little bit. Or the food prep space, counter space. I don't know what to call this. Alrighty. Let's see. The chicken's gonna be done in just a second. We're just gonna plate our rice real quick. The bag, it's still pretty hot. It's not like scalding hot or it's gonna burn me. Just gonna open it the rest of the way. Again, just use your teeth. Just notice how clean your table is this show. Yeah, I've been watching it back and I was like, oh my god, T-Fizzle. Can't even see what's happening on your table because there's so much stuff on it. Okay. A little garlic butter rice. That was kind of a lot of rice, but I'm a big boy, so it's alright. Okay. I'm gonna grab a spoon, because I need a spoon for the avocado. All the ones in my little utensil container are dirty. So I just grabbed one out of the dish drain. I have to stir the chicken and put it back in the microwave for another minute. You guys can just watch that glorious rice steam away for a second while I operate here in the distance. I'm just going to slide the tray out of the microwave. I'm not going to pick it up or anything. I'm just literally like hooking my finger under the edge of the container and just pulling it out of the microwave. Got a tiny little bit on my finger, but it didn't burn me, so that's good. I'm just gonna stir this up. Okay. Now, I have a washcloth over here that I'm going to use to hold the food container when I put it back in the microwave because it's pretty hot. So just bear with me while I do this. This is where I've mostly burned myself, honestly. Is like, for a lot of like microwave stuff, you have to microwave it, then take it out, mix it up, put it back in the microwave. Getting that hot thing back in the microwave, I swear, that's when I'm like always burnt myself the most. We're going to... I accidentally hit an extra minute, so I just had to clear it. Okay. While we do that... Yeah, no, I was extra careful. Hence the little towel that I brought. I'm actually going to grab that and keep it on my lap because I'm going to use it to carry the stuff over. If you guys do hear a little bit of white noise in the background when I'm not talking, I forgot I had my fan running over here, and I don't know if it's making a lot of noise on the microphone. I hope not. Okay. We got our rice. Let me serve up some potatoes. This container has gotten a chance to like cool off completely. I cooked it before the show, so I'm not worried about the heat. My avocados are trapping my fork, but yeah. So this isn't the healthiest meal. It's rice and chicken and potato. I should have some more veggies on here. You know, sometimes the veggies just don't make it onto the plate. And technically, potatoes are a root vegetable. Rice is a grain. I don't know if that counts, but you know, before the garlic butter, it certainly counted as a semi-healthy, reasonable item. But we got our protein, we got our veg, we got our rice. We're gonna pull out some naan bread here in a minute too. I'm just plating up some of these potatoes. And they look really good. They look so good. In fact, I'm going to eat one right now. Super good. I have not, Leon. I have not. But um, I'm planning on it. Okay, let me go get the chicken tikka. Here's how the plate's shaping up so far. We got some rice, we got some potatoes. We just need a little bit of chicken. Was able to get that out of the microwave, no problem. I'm going to use this towel on my lap to transport the goods. Pretty hot, but we're okay. Let me see if I can do this quad style. Alright. Everything made it onto the plate. Nothing spilled. Didn't get burned. I'm calling that a success. Okay. Got a little bit of sauce on my hand. That's okay. We can... Alright, let's scoop my avocado. And thanks, Leon. I appreciate it, dude. Alright. We're just using a spoon. I guess I'm not really showing that off very well. Just using a spoon just to work it into the avocado. I just slide it in right on the edge, and the spoon slides underneath, no problem. And I'm trying to keep it all together. A little slice fell out onto my hand. Just gonna toss that onto the plate or onto the table. And it totally went onto the table now. Sorry, avocado. Looks like you're just gonna have to stay there on the table. What are we cooking? We got some roasted garlic potatoes. We got some garlic butter rice. We got some chicken tikka masala. And of course, you know your boy, T Fizzle. I always got to have my avocado. So we're doing a little avocado too on the side. And I'm about to get the naan bread, and then we're pretty much finished. Um, this avocado, I'm just gonna leave and not eat. But you guys can kind of see the plate action going on. We got our rice, we got our chicken tikka, the potatoes, a little avocado off to the side, and let me grab the naan bread. Alright, I'm gonna use a spoon to eat because I've already made enough dishes, and let me just stick that there. Okay, let me grab the naan bread. I need a little paper towel to microwave it. Oop, sorry. If that hurt your ears, I accidentally bumped into the table. Alright. The reason I grabbed a couple paper towels is because I'm going to put the naan in the microwave to just warm it up a little bit. I could pop it in the toaster oven too, but they already like have a toast on them, and I don't want to make you guys wait that long. Alright, now ideally I would have had the bread kind of out and ready to go because my food's cooling down, which it needed a minute to cool down anyways. That's not really that big a deal. But everyone's probably like, Tom, your food's getting cold, your food's getting cold. You know, that's just the nature of being a quad sometimes. Timing is not always the simplest thing. And my food will cool down a little bit before I can get to it sometimes. Oftentimes, I'll take a couple bites and be like, oh my gosh, my blood pressure's too low. I gotta wait a little while. And then the food's cooler anyways. That's what microwaves are for. I have these little mini naan dippers. I'll show them to you guys in just a second. Let me just get a couple in the microwave. Alrighty. Just adding a couple to the microwave. And we're gonna do like 20 seconds. Alrighty, okay. We're almost there. Let me do another 15. Get them nice and poofy and steamy. I threw away the packaging already, but this is Stonefire naan bread. Oh, can't see my face. They make these little naan dippers. It's not like a big piece of bread. It's like little smaller pieces that you can dip. And I like them. And they're super awesome. And they're very delicious. So, that's what we're doing. Let me set these down. And of course the lid popped off. Not going to worry about that. Okay. Let me go grab my naan. tasty, delicious. Alrighty. Let me de-elevate so you guys can see me. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, everybody who's been hanging around the live while I cook every week and do this. I know after a little while it probably must get a little bit boring. I hope that it's not too boring. But I am working on elevating my game a little bit. We're going to introduce some heating elements soon. We're going to be doing some other stuff. We're going to be making some cocktails maybe next week, or a cocktail. I want to do some baking with you guys. I want to elevate this. Currently it's a one-man show. I do it all. I do the setup, I do the cleanup, I do the production. That's why there's no switching or anything. And it's just like a one-camera shoot. But I'm working on trying to elevate it. So, bing, bang, boom. That looks like a big plate of food, because it kind of is. We got potatoes. We got chicken tikka masala. We got rice. We got naan. I got my sour cream. Put a little bit of squirt of sour cream on there. I cannot eat all this food. I'm going to Tupperware the rest of this potato and chicken together. I probably can't even eat this whole plate of food. But I'm going to do my best to pick on it throughout the rest of the night. And I'm sure it'll be really, really yummy. Speaking of, let me take a bite so that I can say that I tried some of it. Let me make up a little good bite here. Get a little bit of avocado. Get a little rice. A little chicken tikka. Oh yeah. That's so good. These potatoes are so good. The avocado is so fresh and yummy. I just knocked my pair of scissors down. That's okay. I can pick them up. If you guys want to think of some things that you maybe want to see, my plan next is to definitely do some baking. I want to crack some eggs. That's something that I've been practicing. And I want to show, like, doing a dish is like some egg cracking. I think like some homemade cookies where we got to like do the mix in and do everything. It would be really fun. We could just do like a really simple recipe. I'm working on getting a little heat element set up going on over here so that I can like do some like hot cooking in front of you guys, and we can work on some of those skills together and go over some of that stuff. But this is what we got for now. We're making coffee, we're making chicken tikka masala, we're making yummy rice and other good stuff, and that still might be the MO for the next couple weeks while I figure this all out. But I appreciate you guys being here for my journey. I really enjoy showing up every week to do this with you guys, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to do it. Lee and Sean, if you like hot burgers, you should go try the Dairy Queen. Go to Dairy Queen and try the flamethrower. Ooh, that sounds too spicy and risky for my belly. That's awesome, Derek. Well, shout out to your mom. My mom was watching too. And shout out to everybody. Gracie, Jay, Leon, everyone that showed up. M, Padre Smurf. What's going on, Padre Smurf? What is good for decreasing spasms? Stretching, good regular movement. If you are able to get up into a standing frame, that can be really hard. Like that's equipment and money and insurance, and I can't do that independently. But man, oh man, the best thing that I ever did outside of like taking like medication for it to reduce my spasticity was to get into a standing frame, a couple days a week, just for like an hour. Like it would make my legs like not spasm for days. It was really crazy. Um, Baclofen, gabapentin are commonly prescribed medications that are used to reduce spasticity. If you do use those, obviously you have to talk to your doctor. Just make sure they're aware of everything that's going on, the difficulty that the spasms cause in your life, especially if they're hindering the ability to take care of yourself or be independent. It's something that you really got to figure out. This isn't something I can recommend or something that is prescribed, but cannabis is really awesome at reducing my spasms. Whether it's like in edible form or otherwise, that can reduce it. If you are in a legal state, you have access to it. Maybe go to a dispensary if you're not into smoking, which I don't recommend or encourage anybody to start, just because of the respiratory side effects of that. I There are some awesome edible solutions out there that are super low dose, that are non-psychoactive. If you do like a CBD version, which doesn't have the THC, that's the psychoactive component of cannabinoids. But there's lots of beneficial cannabinoids that can help reduce inflammation, reduce spasticity, increase your appetite, that you can utilize in edible form that has no THC. So that's awesome. And something to maybe look into. There's like a couple options. I really recommend, if you're able to, get into a good stretching routine. That doesn't work for everybody though. Make sure there's not like an underlying cause increasing your spasticity. Like for instance, if my bladder is really unhappy because I have a UTI or the early stages of one, or if I drank the night before and I'm dehydrated, that can increase my spasticity. So think about those factors and what might be contributing to it. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. I agree. Standing frame definitely helps. I mean, I swear, it just makes my legs spasm a lot when I first stand up. And I always say, like, I get spasmed out. Like, my body gets them all out. There's no spasms left after I get back into my chair. Hot chamomile tea helps your spasms. That's good to know. Something good to try. Definitely not caffeine. Definitely not a cup of coffee. Maybe avoid that. Other stimulants, anything that's got like a stimulant effect, including things like nicotine and stuff, are certainly considered stimulants, and I think can lend to more central nervous system activity, which for paralyzed limbs means spasticity. Definitely make sure to talk to your doctor about it, no matter what. Even if you don't end up doing like a prescription medication, like baclofen or gabapentin or something, you can still maybe garner some information, or it's just really good for your medical records to note that you have increased spasticity to better understand what's going on in the future. All right, party people, I got to get to eating this food. I got to get to cleaning up all of this not so messy table. I kept it pretty good today. Let me grab my keyboard and then I'm going to sign off. I was able to keep the sniffles away for most of the show. I don't know what I did too different today, but apologize if my sniffles bugged you the last couple minutes. They started to catch up with me as my blood pressure started to fall off the cliff a little bit. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out on the T-Fizzle Cooking Show. And we'll catch you tomorrow with Rolling Over the Hill. with Bobby and the squad. Well, not Bobby. Bobby's traveling tomorrow, but Paul and Chad are going to be running the show. And I'll be back Tuesday for our regular show. And next Wednesday for more cooking and life skills with T Fizzle. So, bye everybody. Live to roll.